Since 1980, uh, I haven't, just as I was graduated from college, I haven't missed a single general conference. Um, and I've been a delegate. I've been, in several of them, I've been translator into Spanish for the general conference, for the delegates up in the booths up there and on the floor. Um, uh, I have I one of my greatest joys has been to meet old friends and to share in the general conference sessions. After 2015, we've gone through some years of trauma with that, and finally we're getting back to a normal GC session here in a few weeks again, and a little over a week. But but during this time, a lot of water has gone under the bridge, and a lot of decisions have been taken, and I worked 11 years as ADRA director in several countries. Um, I worked 30 years for the denomination as union department director in three unions. And so Inter-America, South America, I have a lot of experience. And in North America, um, and made it basically as a registered nurse in our hospitals as I was preparing to go to the mission field. I've seen a lot of changes, and I've dealt with a lot of union presidents, division presidents, uh, general conference men. Ted Wilson was a personal friend for 24 years. We rode and saw each other around. And in 2010, when he made his very, very good opening sermon when he was elected GC president, man, I said, uh, sign me up. I wrote to him and I said, we have 300 or 400 missionaries, between 300 and 400. With that, what you preached, count us in. I mean, uh, we are soldiers and we're at your disposal to carry out this vision that you presented. And we met together several times, and he would always stand up for me. But then one day he sent a word to me that he needed to speak to me. And and then when we met together again, basically he said, uh, everywhere you go, you support the church, you support truth, the church grows, but you got a lot of enemies. And I can't afford to alienate division presidents and others, so I can't support you anymore. And so um, we haven't corresponded since, and he has signed Mike Ryan um, to be the vice president. And Mike Ryan came down like what's the word in English? Anyway, he came down really hard and harsh, and with the GC secretary, they came to see us, and um, basically we were asked to shut down our world operations, orphanages, airplanes, television networks. The television network, we have 25 different countries with television networks, um, and um, and basically that's the one that has the biggest visibility. But as I've been sitting on union committees for so long and dealing with administrators, uh, I became very aware that there's a war. Obviously, the devil hates the Advent message. He hates our mission, uh, and I really admire you for all the stick-to-itiveness that you've done in presenting this. We're right at the GC session, a few days away. Uh, like you said, it would have been an ideal time to present it, but uh, as you and I were talking the other day, I mentioned that uh, I'm not so. My experience has taught me that it's not so easy to turn a big ship around very fast. And if there's outside influences, like you mentioned, official relationships that have been signed with the UN, it's virtually impossible without taking severe hits, maybe losing accreditations, losing hospitals, losing universities, losing properties. And in Mexico, for example, we signed an agreement uh, to all the denomination that we would work in harmony, uh, and we would never criticize another church or speak against another church. in order to be able to hold the property rights to our churches and universities. And so, if we go backwards on these official arrangements, we face the loss of assets massively. But that's what this last final struggle is about. This final struggle is about obey God and face the loss of assets, or obey man and hold on to them a little bit longer, because you're going to lose them anyway, and also your salvation. And as we have signed these agreements in Mexico with the United Nations, Poland, and others, the truth is, the influence from outside is so strong that how can you turn a ship around in a different direction when it's been going in one direction for so long, and the river's getting more narrow, and a big ship on the Amazon River? I was in Manaus, Brazil, and I saw a big seafaring ship that came up to Manaus with tourists from Europe. And I said, that's amazing that they made it up this river this far. I mean, the Amazon River is the largest river in the world. But the further up you go, the more narrow it gets. And even though it's large, a big ship has to be very careful, lest you get into a tight spot, you can't turn around. And that's where we are right now. I think that the denomination, even if 1,000 churches, even if most of the conferences and the unions were to do this, they're in a very difficult position, that they face the loss of assets and relationships and reprisals that would come as a result of backing out of these relationships. It would have been better never to have gotten in them. It's kind of like getting married and now you have to get a divorce. It's better not to have married. But now we have to face a divorce, which is more painful than not getting married. But I still think that what you mentioned the other day when we were discussing is that we have to stand for truth. We have to take a stand for truth, regardless of what other people do. We have to bring awareness of the issues. There are many people that innocently just trust their church. In all the years that I sat on union committees, I've never once seen a union reject a vote that was taken at a higher level. We just rubber stamped them because it comes from above. And so, in all these years, not one single memory do I have of saying, this is not the right direction, we need to take a vote requesting them to reconsider. It's automatically accepted. So it's a tremendous success that you've had to have 100 churches and 3 conferences. I was looking at the conferences. I know the one in South Africa. I know the one in Germany. I and the one in New South Wales there too. I believe God has blessed you to accomplish a great thing, and it needs to grow, if nothing else, to bring awareness to our church members that we have to stand against a current that is going the opposite direction. This will prepare them to stand when greater issues are at stake. But it doesn't mean that this ship is going to turn around. The biggest accomplishment of this is awareness and the ability to stand against the current, and to encourage people to unite around truth. That's wonderful. I'm a little pessimistic on the other, but that doesn't mean God doesn't have a plan. I personally believe the big ship is probably too late to turn around. We're too close to the end of time. But people have to rally around truth, and have to rally around our basic fundamental beliefs that reflect that truth. And so I am here today to support what you're doing. I'm here today to say I believe in what you're doing, but the biggest benefit probably will be that our members and conferences, maybe unions, will jump on board, hopefully, and that we will unite to help pull in the right direction. I don't know. I do know that it will not be, that if the GC were to reverse course, probably they would they would be attacked from every direction. The influences inside the church, there would be reprisals, there would be loss. But at the end, the mark of the beast is coming, and we're going to face a loss of everything, even our lives, in order to be able to stand for truth. So if we can't stand today, what are we going to do tomorrow? If the GC has signed with the United Nations and supported and has chosen to support their agenda, it's kind of like a marriage. They have gotten married to Babylon. And it's a mix of church and state again, which is what we've always stood against. And they have now joined the state, and officially, and they've done it without the obvious permission of the church at session, the General Conference at session. So somebody is running things behind the scenes, and what Ted Wilson told me, I have to get along with the people that I work with, and I cannot risk that relationship. So if he's willing to turn, I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes, and all of us make mistakes. Jesus never made a mistake, but they also turned against him. But if you can say, I know you love the church, I know you love truth, where you go, the church grows and everything, but I cannot support you. Well, I wonder what would happen if Jesus showed up. They would say, you heal people, you speak for truth, you are the Son of God, but I cannot support you. It's not convenient. I would lose some friends. And so we're facing a tremendous battle in the church right now, and we got to stand in. We got to encourage everybody, and I support this movement 100%. I just don't believe that the organization will probably will not take the risk to cut relationships and to back away, but people have to learn to take a stand, and so I appreciate all you're doing, and I don't know where it's going to go, but I do know that we're going to face a great crisis very soon as to truth. Are we going to stand for truth and risk everything? And probably it will not be at a denominational level so much as it will be individual level. Individuals who have learned and took the risk, like you say, of standing for truth, they are in a better position to stand for truth in the future than those that don't do anything when a crisis comes and are afraid to take a stand for truth. We have to be able to stand. And I'm so glad that conferences have made that stand. The Baden-Württemberg conference I know very well, and they've always been a conservative conference, and the union there as well has been more conservative than the North Union. And so whatever it takes to get us into action to support truth, let's go for it. But very soon the decisions will have been made, and you're going to go the direction. I'm afraid, I believe that most denominational positions have already taken a position that will be almost impossible to reverse. But you've shown that it is possible. You've shown that it is possible to create an environment where truth is evaluated and you can take a stand. Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask you what you felt, if you also believe that the biggest product from this will be for people to become aware and to be able to take a stand for truth.